would you guys be willing to take arms against this fight again?
I will do it. I must to defend my home.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, I'm in. Do. As long as it doesn't go past 10 o'clock, I'm fine.
My name is Erin, and I'm just a player in a campaign.
My name is Shane Hill, and I am what is called the Dungeon Master.
My name is Caleb, and I'm a player in this campaign.
So what D&D is a role-playing game where individuals take certain scenarios, and with luck of a dice, outcomes are either favorable or unfavorable for individuals.
Basically, Dungeons & Dragons is just playing pretend but with rules.
The DM, the Dungeon Master, kind of creates this little world that his players are allowed to pretty much take with. You need a lot of imagination for D&D. You just kind of imagine what your character would be doing at that time, and then you explain what your character would be doing.
What got me into D&D was just having another sort of thing to do with my friends.
I started playing D&D probably about a little over a full year ago. My friends were into it, and I had kind of wanted to check it out for a while. Like, I had been listening to a couple podcasts about D&D just because my friends were kind of talking about it. I'm like, oh, this kind of sounds interesting.
I started playing about 3 years ago. It was something to do with some friends, and it was fun, so I just kept playing.
My favorite character is probably the first character I ever played. I call her Gwen. She is a half-Era Cochrane warlock, so she looks like a human mostly, but she has wings. I had a couple of one-shot characters. I had a drow, which is like an evil, kind of like an evil elf. The campaign I'm in currently, I play an old lady named Marge. She's a paladin, so she draws her power from a goddess.
As a Dungeon Master, what I control is everything but the characters. So I control all the combat, all the enemies, all the environment, all the luck, all the non-playable characters. I control everything. Why I chose that to be like my role was because I kind of enjoy the imagination element.
I would say it's become more popular in recent years. Why? I'm not entirely sure. I think a while ago it was just kind of seen as like the thing that nerds do.
I'd say it's definitely become more popular in the last few years. I mean, with the little campaign they showed on Stranger Things and stuff like resources like Critical Role and like other YouTube campaigns that have become popular. I think just more people are realizing like that it's a possible fun thing they can do.
It's an old game. It's also a really fun game that's really adaptable. So that's probably why it's just stayed relevant for so long.
So you have an 8 out of 20. Once you hit 20, you gain that strength bonus. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like leveling up.
Would standing on hot coals improve Constitution?
No.
I'm trying to figure out one for Constitution. You could do.
As a religious person, I think people who see it as a form of demon worship don't really understand it, or the people who play it, really.
So if you interpret it as me, like, praising a demon, that's your interpretation, but my interpretation is I'm killing a bunch of demons and evil things. So it's just interpretation at that point.
My response would be that, you can have your own opinion about that, but I'm not actually like believing that anything we're doing is real in any way, shape, or form. So
Just because I play a demon in the game doesn't mean I'm gonna go out and practice Satanism. That's not gonna happen, and I just see it as ignorance, really.
I'm going to walk out the door, but as I pass Volt, I'm gonna say, "This may be a bad time, but nobody used that bathroom for a while."
We're recommending a new player to D&D. It depends. I'd say go do your own research, watch Critical Role, see if it's something that interests you, then it's a fun hobby that's fairly inexpensive. So
I would recommend anyone who wants to play D&D to play D&D. I think there's too much of a stigma around it, and really, if you just get into it and you have fun with it, I think anyone who wants to play should.
If you're interested in D&D, give it a shot. If you're not, you do you.
But it's a limitless. there's no limit to what this game can bring. You can create anything you want to.
I see D&D kind of as reading a book. When you're reading a book, you can kind of delve into that world and you imagine yourself in a different place, and you can pretty much do whatever you want to do and be whoever you want to be. It's a different world and you're in a different place for a couple hours that you forget what goes on around you, and you can just be pretty much whatever you want to be in that world.